There seems to be still a little bit of confusion about standard deviation and z-scores, and that's okay because it is kind of a tricky topic. What if we talk about football? And we want to know the average number of sacks per team for all high school football teams in Glenn, Tehama, and Butte County. Now we get that data, and so far during the season, the average number of sacks per team is, let's just say, 12. And there's a standard deviation of 3. What that means is that most of the teams have somewhere between 9 and 15 sacks because we say, okay, 12 is the average, minus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 15, somewhere in that range. Now, I'm going to draw a graph, and let's take a look at what that looks like. So here's our standard normal curve, and right in the middle is going to be 12. Now, one of the things we want to start thinking about is this as an area, the area under this curve. And I've been drawing these for a while, and we've got one standard deviation in either side. So if we think about the area, this area, there's a lot of area in there, okay? It's over half the area if we consider this, and then this area is more than half. So more than half of the schools have somewhere between 9 and 15 sacks, because this is one standard deviation in either direction. That's what we're saying. Okay, so now let's take a look at some z-scores. So if you have a school that has a z-score, z-score of, how about 2? That means that they are two standard deviations above the average. 2 times 3 is 6. There's 2 standard deviations above 12. So 6 plus 12, that's going to give us 18 sacks. That team is doing pretty well. So let's write that down. So with a z-score of 2, that team is doing well above average, 18 sacks. What if you have a negative z-score? It doesn't mean it has negative sacks, it means this. How about this? We'll say it's a negative 1.5 is your z-score. Okay, so that's underneath the 12, below the 12. So we do this. We say 1.5 times 3, okay, and that turns out to be 4.5. And we're going to say 4.5 below the 12, which is going to give us 7.5. Whoop, I did it again. Here we go. 7.5 sacks. So all we're trying to do is say, if the z-score is negative 1.5, where is that on this graph? Negative is 1.5 times 3, subtract that from 12, and that's how you get that number. Okay, we'll work with this again tomorrow, and I hope maybe this clears it up a little bit. Anyway, have a great night.